really know what to do with my hair anymore at this point, y'all. I never felt like a middle part was my thing, but maybe it could be. How y'all doing? How are you doing? I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. No, really, I'm good. There is so much background noise, I tell you, man. You probably heard that too. We live right on the road. I mean, there's a huge brick wall in between us and the road, but that's not gonna make a difference. This video is, I mean, from the title of it, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna title it something along the lines of being a mom, my first year as being a mom. I kind of just wanted to pour my heart out and talk about kind of what I've been feeling or what I feel like I've been experiencing this first year. And I want to say first year and 9 months, so 12. I want to say the first 21 months of being a mom, because I carried her, okay, for 9 months. So, and she's turning 1 year old on the 30th. I don't know, I just thought to share a little bit of my heart as far as what I've been feeling or what I've been going through, what I've been walking through, things that I feel like has come to the forefront as far as like my character and my train of thought, my view on life, and all of these things just these past 21 months of being a mother. And I'm gonna do a little bit of makeup, but it's gonna be fairly fast. I'm not gonna be doing anything extravagant, although I do find myself to get a little bit carried away when I'm sitting down and just talking and doing my makeup. So yeah, stick around if it's something you want to hear. I'm gonna start with this Lancome, what is this? Lancome Blur and Go Tint Idol Ultra Wear Primer. I always knew I wanted to be a mom. I always believed that that would be a calling, or not a calling, but I knew that I wanted to be one in whatever capacity, you know, whether it was through having my own or adopting or whatever it is. I knew that I always wanted to be one. And I also knew that it wasn't just about being an actual physical mother. Like I knew I've been prayed over and prophesied over about being like a spiritual mom, just being someone, a spiritual mom. Okay, you won't get that reference unless you, I don't know, go to church or you're in the, you know, some type of Christian, charismatic, Pentecostal, that background. But I always knew that I would mother in one way or another. And that kind of made sense when I eventually became a preschool teacher. Everything there just made sense. I love it. I still love it. I mean, I love it now, obviously, as an actual mother to my own child. My brain is gonna go all over the place because I really don't know what to... This is just, I just clicked record, guys. I didn't write anything out. This is not a planned video. I just thought I'd, you know, share my heart. This is a great match. This is the Fenty Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint in 15. It's so funny, I just walked into Sephora. I knew that that was what I wanted to, you know, out of everything else, if nothing else, I knew that I wanted to go home with the skin tint. And they had this one shade left, even though when I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's not gonna be my shade. Ended up being my shade. I always knew that I would be a mom in some way, shape, or form. But the problem here for me, guys, was the fact that I was very young and dumb. And even though I knew the Lord and I knew Jesus and I knew to do right, I still did wrong. I never grew up in a Christian home. I think my parents, you know, believed that there was a God. I don't believe that they knew that you could actually have a relationship with him through Jesus. I pretty much came into that whole church Jesus relationship scene when I was around 12 or 13 years old. By that time, my relationship with my dad was very rocky. I think I was just seeing him from time to time because he had a pretty bad drug addiction. That, I believe, was how he passed away. He got into a car accident because of an overdose, I think. Yeah, very rocky start, you know? I mean, I was pretty in love with Jesus, y'all. church just rocked my world. It was just such a totally different scene, ultimately because I saw the transformation in my mom. I literally was like a flip, a total flip of lifestyle, diving into ministry. That for me was kind of what did it. I mean, at some point I knew that I couldn't just have a relationship with the Lord because of my mom. So I knew that it came to that at some point, years after being involved in ministry and, being sown into and being blessed by, those in the church that we had become very close with and had, made relationship with. So eventually I knew that I couldn't just believe in this Jesus because of my mother, right? It had to be my own personal decision. Eventually when I became older, and of course when I became 18, that was when I was like, okay, it's either you're in or you're out. I was half in and half out, I was lukewarm, honestly. So the whole Jesus background, I wasn't brought up in it during my childhood. I only really came into it during my elementary, middle school days. I was pretty aware of what was happening, what was going on. And even though I knew that it was truth, but I'm reading the Bible and praying and being involved in ministry was good, and it was all good. But for me at that time, I think it was all works. It wasn't faith. And I think ultimately that was what blew the lid off once I was in high school. And then I went to Bible college too. So that made all the difference, because I knew that I needed to, I had to have faith for the school that I went to. Even getting there, I kind of was, I don't know. I exhausted a lot of my resources. And I don't know if you would call it faith, or if you would just call that not being prepared and not being diligent. When I went to Bible school, it was, honestly, the best experience of my life. Second to having Havilah and being married to my husband, okay? Well, third, I guess you could say. Being there, it turned everything upside down, because I really realized, hey, this is not just works. You actually have to have faith. You actually have to put what you're believing to action and live that out. But also have an understanding that you are human and you are gonna mess up. You're gonna have flaws. Where am I going with this train of thought? I don't even know. Let me just start my eyebrows or something. Oh, okay. So with that being said, now that I'm a mother, I'm seeing certain things that I do in my character, in my actions, come out now. And I don't like it. I do not like it. I don't think I'm the first person to feel like this. I don't believe that I'm the first mother to feel like this when it comes to their kids. But because this is my first, I just want to encourage you to check yourself. Check yourself, okay? Check your attitude, check your character. And honestly, I think it has a lot to do with our generation, because what do they call us? Do they call me millennials? Do they call us millennials? I know I'm not Gen Z. I know I'm not in that generation. So I think I might be in the millennial category. There was somewhere I saw, when you have your first kid, you're pretty much practicing. You don't know what you're doing. You're just trying to figure it out as you go. I hated that. I hated when I read that and when I saw that. I don't want her to be my practice run. I want to be the best that I can be for her right now, so that I'm not just making all of these mistakes. But it's inevitable. I really don't know what I'm doing. That's really hard for me to wrap my head around, because I hate when I don't have control of something. I hate when I don't know what I'm doing. I hate when, that's a really aggressive word to say, I don't like, or I don't appreciate. I would prefer to know what I'm doing. At least have some type of blueprint, have some type of awareness or understanding. Okay, so this is what I have to work with. This is what I can. Does that make sense? That probably didn't make sense. Yeah, no, you don't have any type of blueprint at all. You have what other people have gone through. You have what your own personal mom has gone through. You have what maybe if you have siblings who have had children or who have children have gone through. You kind of just gotta pick at all these different opinions and kind of just end up with something and try to make something out of that. And that is where I'm at. And I don't like that, because it's kind of like, it's too bad. They're gonna have to grow as you grow. That's just the way that it is, unfortunately. I don't like to say that. It is what it is. But we're humans trying to raise another human while having all of these imperfections and all of these mistakes and all of this stuff. it's kind of inevitable. They're going to have to learn the basics of life while we're trying to learn how to maneuver and handle life. I hope that makes sense. It sounded like it makes sense in my head. Yeah, I think that that's what this first year of being a mother has taught me, is it's inevitable. As much as you want to try and be the perfect mom, you really can only do your best. And that, I think, is where I'm at a crossroads, because I don't feel like I'm giving my best, you know? I feel like I'm giving second best because I don't have this or I don't have that, and I can't provide her with this or I can't provide her with that. And there's so many other areas in my life that are being left unchecked because it just has to be for the moment. It's being left not taken care of, and it's not being resolved. And that's just the way it has to be right now. And I don't like that. And if I know myself well enough, it's because of either one of two reasons. One, I'm too scared to deal with it because of failure or because of disappointment. Or two, it's because I don't have the means to take care of it right now. Or I'm just unable to because I simply cannot. I don't like that answer. Either one of those answers. I guess there is advice that people can give you or tips on how to handle this or how to do that, but honestly, swear to God, none of it will make sense until you walk through it yourself. Let me just say that. Every single opinion goes out the window once you give birth to this new life. I feel as though it works two ways for me. I want help, but at the same time, that same help is kind of overwhelming, and I just don't know where to start because I'm thinking a certain way, and then I'm hearing this, and then I'm hearing that, and then I'm just, okay, what's right then? And I hate being a failure, so if one way doesn't work, I just give up completely and throw in the towel. All of these tips and tricks and encouragement, I mean, it's great, you know, there's nothing wrong with encouragement, and I think there's a difference between encouragement and opinion. Okay, and this is just her first year. Oh my gosh. Whenever I think about when she becomes 18, or even when she's in middle school or elementary school, I just think, what am I supposed to do? Am I gonna homeschool her? Is she gonna go to public school? You know, when she starts her period, I mean, all of these, graduation, college, when I start to rabbit trail about her life, I'm overwhelmed. I immediately have to start praying, and I go into prayer once I get to that point, because if not, I'm just gonna lose it. I don't know if I finished my thought on having to do with our generation. If I didn't finish what I was saying, what I meant by that was because of how fast-paced we are. We want microwave help. We want it now, we want it fast. And if we don't get it now and we don't get it fast enough, we get mad and we get upset. I don't want to be like that. I especially don't want to be like that as a mother. You know what I'm saying? So to that I say, spend time with them, get off your phone, quality time with family. Have to discipline yourself, because that's the hardest thing for our generation, I believe, to do. That's the hardest thing for any generation to do, is discipline. No, there's no way that we're the only ones that have a hard time with it, okay? No. Discipline and consistency, okay? What is this? Ultra Slim Brow Ultra Slim by Maybelline. The spoolie part broke off. Another thing that was on my mind about this whole social media and our generation, millennial, Gen Z, whatever you want to call us, them, whatever, is how much access we have to each other's lives. Whether it's through personal, face-to-face, whether it's through social media, we have so much access to each other. It's nuts. Now, because of that, I feel like it's a plus and a minus type of situation. I mean, in regards to like the alpha generation and the omega, I call our generation, like the kids, the grandkids, the omega generation, and then our parents and grandparents, great grandparents, the alpha generation. So if I say that, that's who I am referencing. This is quick. I'm almost done. I'm not going to do anything like extravagant. A touch of concealer. Actually, yeah, right here, what I have left on my brush, just a little bit there. So the alpha generation had no access really to anyone at the time, really only themselves and whoever was in their circle of family. Today, we have access to people across the world and we can get in contact with them in under 5 minutes. That's nuts. That's crazy. We're spoiled. Can I just say that? We are really spoiled because of that. It's funny how we have all of these resources now. We have everything we could possibly need to stay connected, to stay involved, to stay in community, and yet I feel like we're the most disconnected. Isn't that crazy? Is that just me? And I honestly believe that the alpha generation were the most connected without all of this stuff today. I mean, of course, I know that there was abuse, there was all of this, junk stuff. But at the same time, I feel as if they were the most rooted and grounded in who they were, who they are, then, without all of this stuff that we have now. This Omega generation has all of the bells and whistles, and yet we can't even tell two and two apart. We're blessed to have the type of connection that we have. We're blessed to have the type of resources and technology that we have. But I believe that it can be a recipe for disaster if we don't steward it well and if we don't get a hold of it before it gets a hold of us. Which is why I believe being a parent today is that much harder. The alpha generation had their own special set of circumstances, as do we. But I feel like because we're all connected this way, like this, it's even worse for us. Well, it's not worse. It's good. It's awesome. I love that I can see my mom in like 2 seconds like this. I mean, it's great. At the same time, it can be bad if we're not aware. You know what I'm saying? If we're not aware. So stay aware, stay lit, and do it together, y'all, okay? Do it together. Be a team as much as you possibly can. Talk about everything. Lay everything out on the table. I mean, we should be doing that before we even get married. That should be the foundation. But even before baby comes, or even throughout marriage, if there's something left hidden, bring it into the light, expose it. There has to be trust. There has to be compromise. But especially if you're welcoming a new life into this world, I don't know what else to say to that, but just be connected and stay connected with each other. It will definitely help you in the long run. I mean, hello, even now my husband and I still, con kids from time to time. Because no marriage is perfect. But when it comes to parenting and parenting styles, I mean, not so much in the beginning because they're fresh, they're newly born. I miss that time, honestly. I really miss that time when she was so little. I miss it, but I was also very intimidated and I was very scared. I remember when we first walked in the room where we were staying, I was just kind of, okay, what do I do now? It's just an experience. I mean, you really don't know until you walk it out yourself. I mean, I loved when I got to sleep the little bit that I did, but when I opened my eyes and when I opened my eyes and I saw her, I just, wow. Your life just completely changes. It really does. And I'm just so grateful to be her mom. I'm grateful to be Havilah's mom. I'm grateful that Havilah is my daughter. I just never thought ever that I would be blessed to be a mom. Mostly because my lifestyle, I just never thought that I would be blessed enough to have babies because of the lifestyle that I was living, even though I knew who Jesus was, even though I knew right from wrong. I felt like my punishment would be that to not be able to have kids. And I was convinced, I was convinced. Having sex before marriage, even though I knew that that wasn't okay, I thought that that would be my punishment, never being able to have kids. And then when and then when we found out, can I be honest? Even when we found out, I thought there's no way that this baby I'm going to keep. Oh my God, I'm getting hot. I'm getting nervous. I'm confessing this. Even when we found out that I was pregnant, I thought there's no way that I'll be able to keep this baby. Sick, huh? I wasn't hoping that I would lose her. I just thought there's no way. I mean, I thought up until that point that I'd never have a kid or never be able to get pregnant. And then being able to carry her for all that time and then now having her, it's just talk about mercy, honey. Mercy and grace, okay? It's just like, it's all over my life. It's all over my life because of her. I'm just gonna finish this. Okay. Oh, y'all. Crazy. It's sick that I thought that way, but that's how I thought. That's how good God is, you guys. That's how very good he is. So I don't want to end this video on like a gloomy note, but this really isn't a gloomy video at all. It's just a testimony of the goodness of God, even when you think you've done everything wrong and your life has just been a disaster and there's no going anywhere from here. Little do you know the plans that God has for your life. He's designed it perfectly from the beginning. And I just pray that you step into that and you remember that he has everything laid out for you. It's not going to be walked out perfectly. Obviously, we're humans. But if you just yield to him and you stay close and you spend time with him, even in the chaos of becoming a mom and having a family or being a parent, it's the best thing of life. So I've loved this first year, these first 21 months of being her mama, and even getting irritated and frustrated with her. I just melt at the sight of her. So I love you guys. And if you're new parent and if you're expecting, welcome to the best times of your life. Life changing, a lot of things to give up, a lot of things that you used to do, not going to be able to do, and that's okay. Because let me tell you, they're going to fill it right up. And it's going to be all the more worth it and all the more fun. Love you.